Hey, boys and girls, happy Monday. I hope you guys had a great weekend. Today, we're starting a new lesson. It is 6.7 in your book, and that lesson is comparing fractions. So, today, we're going to take fractions that do not have the same numerators or denominators, and we're going to compare them using greater than, less than, or equal to. And in order to do that, we're going to use the skill that we worked on last week using common denominators. So, I'm so glad that you still have those notes in your journal because they will help you this week. Okay, so next slide. You've already clicked this to get me. Okay, so like I said, this is a new lesson in your book, 6.7. So if you will please meet me on page 365. Keep your notes handy in your journal because we'll be using those in just a minute. And I forgot to say, boys and girls, I'm sorry, this live video thing, it's a little hard to keep up with. If you have not started a new page in your journal with these notes, please do so. And remember to pause me so that you can keep up with the notes. I do not want you to get behind. Make sure you're taking notes when I take notes so that you can keep up, okay? And if you hear anything behind me, it sounds like my husband has started pressure washing, okay? So I apologize. Okay, so again, 365. All right, so I'm going to start with the problem that they have in the book at the top for you all. And I know that this is one way and there's a second way below it. We're not going to worry about that because I have a shortcut that I'm going to show you tomorrow. Okay, so we're going to focus on the one way because this is the easiest, in my opinion, to see it. Okay, so anywho, let's go back up here. Every year, Avery School has a fair, and this year, 3/8 of the booths had face painting and 1/4 of the booths had sand art. So were there more booths with face painting or with sand art? So we're comparing them. Is 3/8 greater than, less than, or equal to 1/4? Okay, so I'm going to try clicking this pen so I can fill in notes with you. Make sure you fill it in the book, okay? So when two fractions have the same denominator, they have equal sized parts. When we have those equal sized parts, then we're going to be able to look at the numerator because that's going to tell us how many is shaded and that's going to tell us the size that is bigger or smaller or equal. Okay, so we are going to compare 1/4 and 3/8 and we're going to find that common denominator. Okay, so they've listed out the multiples. They've kind of already seen this and they said, okay, well, I know that when I list the multiples of 4, I'm going to get 8. This is a little difficult. Bear with me. So 8 is already the denominator of 3/8. So we're going to use that and make an equivalent fraction. So how did I get from 4 to 8? I multiplied by 2. What I do to the denominator, I have to do to the numerator. 1 times 2 is 2. So really what I'm comparing is 3/8 and 2/8. Yes, because we just found that common denominator, okay? So this is the easiest part, is now you get to shade it, okay? So let's shade 3/8. They've already divided up into 8s for you. So 1, 2, 3. Yikes. Okay, and then we're going to shade 2/8. So you can see, so which one is bigger, 3/8 or 2/8? And we see that 3/8 is larger than 2/8. Okay, now I'm going to tell you, boys and girls, the easiest thing is when you have a denominator that is the same. Okay, that's a gift. Remember, we've talked about gifts in math before. So if the denominators are the same, you just get to look at the numerator to see, okay, well, 3 is bigger than 2, right? And we're back way into kindergarten and first grade, right? So if the denominators are the same, you get to skip this step of finding common denominators. Now in fourth grade, I'm just going to be honest, they don't give you that gift very often, okay? So let's keep moving. I want to do a couple more examples with you. So I'm going to speed through these notes that are on the next slides. Remember, they're still in your slideshow to go back, or you can pause this video right now and take them, okay? So continuing under the notes in that page in your journal, all right? Oh my goodness, guys, I'm sorry. Oh, there we go. I want you to add, we are going to use our previous skill, finding common denominators, to compare fractions using greater than, less than, or equal to. And here are your steps. All right. 1, 2, and 3. You can pause me now. And I'm going to keep going. All right. So like I said, it is a gift when you have common denominators, okay? Because then you don't have to worry about finding that common denominator. So again, since they're both already 8, then I just get to look at the numerator. Is 2 greater than, less than, or equal to 7? Okay, well, 2 is much smaller than 7, so 7/8 is larger than 2/8, and you can shade that to prove it. 2 boxes. Ooh. 7 boxes. I think you guys get the picture. Okay, go back to this. All right, so I want you now to turn. I don't know if you have to turn, I'm sorry, but this is on page 366 in your book. So we have 3/4 and 1/3. Okay, so I'm going to solve this one for you just how I would want you to solve it in your book. Okay, so I'm going to take 3/4 and 1/3. Now, do 3/4 and 1/3 have the same denominator? No. So I am going, I hope this works. Ooh, I am going to list the multiples just like my steps say on the previous page in your journal. I'm going to list the multiples of 4 and the multiples of 3, and I'm going to find the LCM. So 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 3, 6, 9, 12. Okay, I'm going to stop there because I see that 12 is the LCM. And as my notes state, I'm going to make equivalent fractions. And I'm going to make 12 my new denominator, just like we did last week. Okay, so how did I get from 4 to 12? I multiplied by, that's right, 3. What I do to the denominator, I have to do to the numerator, 9/12. So I'm going to come back over here and I'm going to rewrite this, 9/12. Okay, so 3/4 is equal to 9/12. I'm going to write it underneath here so that I see that. All right, 3, how did I get from 3 to 12? I multiplied by 4. What I do to the denominator, I have to do to the numerator. And 1 times 4 is 4. Okay, so now that my denominators are the same, I can look at the numerator and I can say, okay, well, which one is larger, 9 or 4? Okay, well, 9 is greater than 4. So that means I'm going to come back up here and then answer the question, because even though I found common, equivalent fractions, the fractions that I started with were still 3/4 and 1/3. So your problem is still going to look like this, okay? But now that I've converted them and I see the equivalence here, I see that 3/4 is greater than 1/3. And some of you guys are good at picturing 3/4 and maybe picturing a circle divided into 3 shaded to 1, and you could kind of see that those are larger, that 3/4 is larger. But they do get more complicated, so you will want to use this skill of finding common denominators. Okay, so let's head on to the next example. Please fill this in, all of this. Do you see my work? All of this in your book. And I think this is the next one, isn't? Oh, B. Okay, I don't think they're numbered. Okay, let me go. All right, so let's compare our fractions here. All right, so get my pen. 3/5 and 3/8. I know the numerators are the same, but we're not going to remember that's how many is shaded, and we have to determine if they are equal based on the pieces that they are broken up into. Okay, so list the multiples of 5, list the multiples of 8 to find their LCM. Okay, and I'm just going to go ahead and tell you that the LCM is 40 because I'm running short on time, guys. Okay. So let's make equivalent fractions. So how did I get from 8 to 40? I multiplied by 5. What I do to the denominator, I have to do to the numerator. And 3 times 5 is 15. Okay. How did I get from 5 to 40? Multiplied by 8. What I do to the denominator, I have to do to the numerator. 3 times 8 is 24. So now my 3/5 is equivalent to 24 over 40. And my 3/8, sorry, I don't know how to, let's see if I can erase that. Oh, look at that. My 3/8 is equivalent to 15 over 40. Okay, so now that my denominators are the same, I can then look at my numerator. So is 24 greater than, less than, or equal to 15? 24 is greater than. So that means that 3/5 is greater than 3/8 based on all of this work that we just did. Please make sure you copy this in your book. Okay. All right, guys, I'm going to have a couple problems. I'm looking at my slideshow here, and I realize I have not finished that. Okay. I'm going to have a couple problems here that I want you to work on today. And I do have another video from Khan Academy that is also posted in your Google Classroom for you to go back if you need a couple more examples and to kind of see how they work through it. And you can also watch that video from Friday too from Math Antics. All right, guys, I hope you have a good day. Please make sure that your notes are in your journal. And if you need to watch me explain this again, that's a-okay. Just hit play because tomorrow we're going to take it a little bit further. Okay, we're going to be practicing more with this tomorrow. Hope you guys have a great day. Bye.